number 3. This hand, I want to say, kind of has to be a mulligan. Like, it looks really strong. Turn 3 spectral, turn 4 spectral. But without any other interaction, it seems a little loose. I've kept some loose hands, but I don't think this one gets there. Yeah, this one's good. Bitter Blossom Virtue. It's a winning strategy. I will bottom that. I need a 3rd land or other interaction. Control, okay. Well, Bitter Blossom Virtue is real. If I can land it. And I think... So I don't like Liliana's in this build, so I can just go ahead and get a Plains. I'm going to do this first. Bitter Blossom is really important, and I want to make sure it does resolve. And it would have. So they can Snapcaster Opt next turn, or they can Vendilion Click. Terminus is turn 6. I think I can play around it. I guess they could put it back on their deck a few different ways, but see if they Vendilion Click me here. Yep. Which is totally fine. So I'm either going to play Spectral or Bitter Blossom. Could be History, but I don't think so. Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do want to play a 3-drop. So I'll just play whichever one they don't take. It is a tough choice on their end. I don't know what I would take, personally. Bitter Blossom, sure. So Fatal Push is pretty good. Hits the Colonnade. We already have a path for that, obviously, but it's good to have backup. Field of Ruin. Probably on some kind of Snapcaster Opt plan. Do I go Virtue or History? So I go History, they go Land, History again, Terminus. So why don't we just go Virtue, see what they do. Okay, I'm cool with that. Bait out that Terminus a bit. We'll save the History of Analia for that. Land go. They're going to Field of Ruin my Shambling Vent, or one of them. Or at least I assume so. Get an island. Or yeah, Snapcaster Opt, I guess. Yep. Yep, no blocks there. Might start getting in there with Shambling Vent. So now I would want the following turn to leave open Path Exile or a push for their land, for their colonnade. Guess they could hit mine with Field of Ruin. So the other thing I can do is, if I cast History now, the good thing about the delay is that they probably, if they Terminus next turn, then I get the other token on the back end. They could just have a counter spell. Or they would wait until the history fully resolves, but in that case they take another hit. I'm going to assume that they don't just have nothing, and I'm going to attack with a vent. Then they will Field of Ruin, would be my assumption. I'll get a swamp. And we'll have open Fatal Push if they decide to get a little frisky with the colonnade. And if they decide to Terminus, then I'll just drop a History of Benalia and we'll be happy about it. Teferi is very annoying. Especially with whatever sort of interaction they have. Like a Field of Ruin. Plains is good. I think have to make them do it. So I can make them use the field or cast something and risk getting countered, which may not be a problem. Okay. It's kind of tempting to attack them, but I think Teferi's too big of a problem. Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. So they're going to want to Terminus next turn so they can protect their Teferi, and they don't want me attacking in with Shambling Vent the turn after that. Yeah, Teferi's a big problem. Uh-oh. Can Jace Miracle the Terminus? That's bad. It's real bad. So I'm going to do that. Well, Thoughtseize is good. That is very helpful. Play around a Settle or something like that. Cryptic, tap my team is bad. Yep. And I don't really want to cast the other history right now. Alright, well, we're kind of in a rough spot here. They're drawing infinite cards. The Jace to Fairy tag team is very real, sadly. I think I'm just going at them. Yep. Can't win. Yeah, we're done here. There was once upon a time where I would play these out and make them kill me, but Path of Colonnade, Field of Ruin, whatnot, but it's gonna be pretty far gone there. Okay, I like to take out virtues, usually one. I think I like almost all of this. I don't think I want that. Liliana's are for sure. Fatal Pushes probably come out. Especially if I need to lose 4 cards still. Everything else is threats. I think that's good. I don't know that I've ever gone all 3 of these, but we're gonna go for it and see. This has been a more and more problematic matchup, and I think it must be Teferi, I guess. I mean, that's the big thing that these decks have changed. These decks have gotten a lot more popular lately anyway. Turn 2 Thoughtseize is less good, but the rest of the hand's pretty good. The question is, do they bring in Spell Pierce? Is that a thing that I need to worry about for landing my Bitter Blossom? I'm gonna guess not, but we are about to find out in this moment. Okay. Probably should have just done the Marsh Flats there. It's alright. Now I do want to cast the Thoughtseize, I think. That's bad. Do I care to hit negate? Probably not. Yeah, tough to say what I would want to, if I wanted to resolve the Thoughtseize sooner or not. I guess I just assume I will get to resolve it at some point, but maybe I shouldn't just assume these things. So if I peg a negate with surgical, I get to look at their hand and decide if I want to cast history. It seems really loose, but maybe necessary. They do have 4 negates. Okay, well. Alright, so we'll do a little better job here of checking out their hand. They have a Baneslayer in hand. We've got the path for that. Lyra, 3 Jays, 2 Teferi, 2 Snapcaster, 2 Sphere, Click. It's a good amount of threats. We should probably write down their hand. So it could Field of Ruin, Surgical, their Colonnade at some point. I'd assume they're going to play it next turn. They might Field of Ruin my Field of Ruin. But I could also Surgical Flooded Strand, and I don't think that's worth it. So Lyra, so we have 4 Terminus, a Supreme Verdict. Okay. Point being, we can resolve this right now. Hope they don't draw exactly Supreme Verdict. And we'll call it. Took the vent. Take a swamp. Flooded Strand, okay. Oh yeah, they probably want to leave up Cryptic. That makes sense. And I don't know that I even want to resolve another Bitter Blossom. It's debatable. I am ahead on board by a lot right now, so I might just sit tight, hang out and wait, see what they do. They have a lot of options. My other option is actually to Surgical their Cryptic once they cast one of them. It's not a bad idea at all. Given how this game is going, it's probably better than Field of Ruin, Surgical their Colonnades. Like, just Field of Ruin, 1 Colonnade should be enough. I need to take all of them. Yep. You got it. Island, Angel, Cryptic, Colonnade. And they take 4, 8, 11 right now. If we draw any anthem, then they die. Negatory. Still close though. Can we win through a Lyra? That'd be something. How'd they? Oh yeah, I pathed them. Let's do this. Seven lands. So they could counter my surgical potentially. Vendilion click and tap my team. Do I cast the surgical? I guess they probably don't want me like redrawing. Yeah, they can take the surgical, I think. I don't quite care enough. I don't care enough to just blow it on the colonnade in the graveyard. I do like the idea of hitting the other. Ooh, boy. That would have been really nice a turn ago. I'll resolve it next turn. So is there a window for me to let this resolve and then activate vent? Probably. Yes. Unfortunately, don't have the removal spell. But oh well. So they have one cryptic and 4 unknown cards. Woof. Colonnade, okay. Go to combat. Yep. Whoa, you can return lands? That's brutal. That's just not fair. So Soren's just another token maker basically. And an anthem in case they do something. Terminus. Can't really tap out for terminus. Also didn't see any settle the wreckages, so that's good. Don't think I want to attack with vent. Is there a reason not to attack with everything? Jeez. So hateful. How many cryptics are they going to find? Holy moly. Still need to find a terminus, but again, they can't really tap out for it. I guess they're not tapping out because they'll be able to, they'll still have 5 mana open. At least they're not drawing cards off Cryptic, that's good. So if I had waited on that previous vent attack into the click, it wouldn't have made a difference because I still have yet to draw a removal spell for the theoretical click. Point being that I would have had 2 Shambling Vents to attack with, and they wouldn't have been able to do this trick. Not sure what they're debating right now. But it does look like we'll be able to attack through a Baneslayer Angel at least now, or a Lyra. Right, because we've got, yeah, we've got somewhere in the, well, with the Sorin we've got like 17 damage. I mean 20, but they block 5 and gain 5, so it's still taking 10. I wonder if I'm disconnected or something. No. Doesn't look like it. So it's 3 cryptics. They do have one more. They have a Supreme Verdict and 4 termini. All of which buy a lot of time, but they still need an answer to the vent, and still have Bitter Blossom Sorin. Don't think I need to Emblem Sorin. They only have 1 creature left in their deck. Although they have Snapcasters, but doesn't deal with Colonnade or anything like that, so it's not a big deal. Opponent's not doing anything here. Could always look at the look at our deck list here. While we wait in the meantime. So here's the list we're playing now. I think the sideboard's correct for blue-white. I think it's just these 5 cut push, Kaya and a virtue. Soren's not great in the matchup. It is a pump spell, obviously. That also makes creatures if we don't have anything, which is usually why I trim a virtue in a matchup like this, because if they deal with all my threats, then the virtue doesn't do anything. Soren can at least put some tokens out. But it's still pretty slow, and the life gain's not totally relevant. It is sometimes relevant. There have been games where they're just racing with a colonnade, but it's usually not the case. Sir Jace a lot. What's the emblem? 8? Okay, good. Sure. Not a big deal. Oh, Lyra. Yeah, but I think Virtue and Shambling Vent still get me through that. So Lyra outdoes 10. Okay, well this is easy, so they have to counter the path and let the Virtue through. Or I guess I could play the Virtue and then play the path or something. Kind of curious, just for sake of it though. It would get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would gain 5, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. Can't do Vent and Path and Virtue. So why don't we do this first, see what happens. Cryptic again, holy moly. Chimney Cricket. My goodness. I mean, I guess I just resolve this because why not? Okay, so that's all of their cryptic commands. Finally. They have one card, they draw a card. They draw another with Teferi. Man, all 4 cryptics in a row. That's insanity. So they're taking a chance to gain 5. Here's where that life gain's relevant, right? Terminus, okay. And they have the Field of Ruin. Oh, I can just do this. Why am I even bothering? Yep. Pretty brutal. Can they activate Colony right now? They can. Shoot. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I can just block. Yep. They still have a Lyra. So I guess the play should have been... I guess I wasn't thinking another... I was thinking a counterspell, but not another cryptic command. But I should have waited until they... So they did have to have... They had to tap my team to survive that turn, and in response to that cryptic is when I should have pathed Lyra. It's a bummer. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna duress and drain. Don't really have a use for that other Bitter Blossom. I guess if they purge the first one. Do I care which one? Probably get rid of Terminus. I think I'm dead though. An ultimate to Fairy and then kind of off to the races. Draw an opt, sure. Why not? Yep. Do I have a draw that wins? Like Field of Ruin, I guess. I'll probably just die to my own Bitter Blossom eventually, though. Path works. For now. Yep. Do they have the counterspell? Yep. All right. Well, this ends. It should have been a very favorable game. I'm trying to think. So if I had played that differently with them, with being able to path the Lyra. They don't gain the 5. I do eventually draw the Collective Brutality. That drains them for the last 2. So, yeah, I guess therein was the mistake. Yep, I guess that was it. Yeah, I can't. It sounds right. I'm going to rewatch that game, but I think I had it. Either way, that was game 2, obviously. We still had to play a game 3 against... Yeah, it's been a tough matchup for a few months now. This deck has been problematic, but something I've taken a look at, but it's really hard to sideboard against, right? For our deck, we're just a slower deck, and that's kind of what they're going to be feeding on. So, all right, we'll be back for round